Hi guys, so I've said before that sometimes I don't know if Brexiteers like Jacob Rees-Mogg, Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage and others are ignorant about something when they make an obviously false statement, or that they're pretending to be ignorant in order to convince their supporters that that statement is true. Because in politics it's better to lie and be confident than tell the truth but be unsure. So this brings us to Jacob Rees-Mogg, who was amongst friends and fans at Conservative Home. Here he was talking about Brexit opportunities and actually described a problem that's due to Brexit. Have a listen.
Evidently, like a lumbering prize fighter, I've signalled accidentally my next blow, which is going to be about the question of Brexit opportunities. Obviously, this is now your ministerial role, Brexit opportunities and government efficiency. And I think that's correct. Right, yes, there we go. Obviously, Brexit opportunity has to be a major part of that. What, from your point of view, what are the top priorities to seize Brexit opportunities? What difference will they make, and how rapidly can we capitalise on them?
We can capitalise on them at the pace at which we want to capitalise on them. We are now in charge. What are the opportunities? Well, I think the opportunity is absolutely essential to how we deal with the cost of living crisis, because the only way to deal with the cost of living crisis is through supply-side reforms that will make the economy more efficient and cheaper. And what are those? They're removing non-tariff barriers on trade, making it easier for goods to come into this country. I've got in my pocket, I've been carrying this around for ages. A constituent of mine is an egg producer, and he...
A chicken.
An egg producer. He's not a...
I'm sorry.
Not a chicken. I think he's come on the wrong stage. He's meant to be on a comedy show later. And he imported the boxes to put his eggs in, and got a Brexit import declaration charge of £55, importing from the EU. This is a self-imposed charge. Why are we making lives harder for people? We didn't need to do that. So the first thing we've got to do is recognise we are not the European Union. We don't need to replicate the European Union's ridiculous schemes against our own people importing things. We need to make all of that easier. Non-tariff barriers we need to push down. And this.
Okay. Does Jacob not realise that's the consequence of being outside the single market? So being outside the single market, you have to pay for these declarations. Now, obviously, the constituent he's talking about didn't buy these egg boxes from Britain because it was probably more expensive. So they decided to buy them from the European Union. And they've been hit by this cost. But this is a cost of Brexit. Now, Jacob Rees-Mogg is saying, well, why are we doing this? You're doing it because you have to do it. Because under WTO rules, you're supposed to impose these conditions upon trade. If you don't do that, you're going to be punished by the WTO. Remember, Brexiteers were talking about the WTO. The WTO, we're going to go the WTO route. No deal Brexit, WTO. There are certain, what he's talking about tariffs here, non-tariff barriers. There are tariffs on certain goods coming in. They're there to protect domestic industries. Obviously, there aren't tariffs on these egg boxes. But if they are imported, you have to make a declaration and you have to pay for that. But that is the consequence of Brexit. That's a consequence of being a third country. If you're importing them from the United States, it's going to be exactly the same situation. So the solution would be not to import them from the European Union, but maybe they're not being produced in the UK, or the ones that are being produced are too expensive. That's why having free trade with the European Union was a good idea. You decided, Jacob Rees-Mogg, to put up barriers. You decided to have these costs, and now you're saying we need to get rid of them. Well, the best way to get rid of them would be to rejoin the single market and the customs union. Then there would not be any of these non-tariff barriers, or tariff barriers either. So is Jacob Rees-Mogg advocating for rejoining the single market and the customs union? I don't think so, because obviously he's against that, but he's in a sense advocating for it here. Once again, I don't know if Brexiteers like him don't understand Brexit, or they're pretending not to understand it. And sadly, the person interviewing him didn't call him out on this. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.